Hello. So apparently, someone named Keffals is twending. Wow. Wow. It's going to be one of those types of nights, is it? Someone named Keffals is trending on the Twitters. And I've heard of this person before, but I never really cared enough to look into it. And here's like basically my understanding of this person. It's like trans, lefty, something, something, transing kids, homemade hormones, apparently with hair in them, which doesn't actually sound really like a good idea to me. But that's kind of like my impression is Keffals is some lefty trans activist that wants to trans kids that makes homemade hormones that they give to kids, and this has always been a scandal. And this person, I don't know, that is literally the extent that I know about this. But Rottweiler, what can you tell us? Leave it to Rottweiler to know what's going on. Rottweiler, what can you tell us about this person? Give me a too long didn't read. Because it's Sunday night, and maybe I just want some drama in my life, some unnecessary drama in my life. No, not really. I'm just curious about why this person is like trending on Twitter and why they've been exposed. Because it kind of seems to me, based on like what I've read, this person, like people know this person's deal. It's not like it has something to do with Vaush too. I mean, Nitwits originally started out as a stream where I was supposed to watch content creators that I've never watched before. Because I don't watch other creators. Because I have too much actual stuff to do. And so you guys wanted me to do a stream where I would watch content creators and like react to them because it would be the first time I'd seen them, and like it'd be me being stupid because you guys watch other people way more than I do. So we're returning to our roots is what I'm saying. We're returning to our roots tonight. I have no effing idea who Keffals is, but apparently they're being exposed for something and we're going to find out what. Rottweiler says Keffals is an advocate for transing kids without parents' knowledge and consent. He earned the moniker of Troonshine because of that, a wordplay of moonshine and trans. Because I don't misgender people because is it a she, her, is it a they, them? Probably should use they. I'll say they, them just to be careful. Because they, them were making like homemade hormone replacement stuff like testosterone and sending that to kids, apparently, allegedly. I don't know that any of this is true. Oh, they're they, them. Well, that makes everything easy. Well, I mean, I don't know. Did Keffals get exposed? I truly have no idea, Greg. Fill me in. What do you know? Anyway, this person is trending on Twitter, and there was just and there's been a whole bunch of videos about this, but I found one in particular that I found in the trends on Twitter that maybe will give us some insight into who this person is. And it's on. No, they're not doing anything to me. They're not doing anything to me. I'm not involved. I'm not involved in this. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea who they are. Okay. I'm just interested. It's just drama, Sin. It's just juicy drama. It's a Sunday night. Like, what do you want me to do? We just got done watching Down with Love in the Discord, and it was great. And now I'm not in the mood to work. Okay. I want some tea in my life. We're not going to watch the whole 4-hour video. Don't get your hopes up. We're going to watch a little bit. We're going to see what this is. Anyway. So I don't know who this channel is or if they're any good, but this is the one that came up. And it's called Keffals Exposed, called out by Ethan Klein, ContraPoints. I don't know how to pronounce that. Vaush something, something, something. I mean, I don't really have any drama right now. Like, I mean, who do I have drama with right now? I'm just chilling. And I don't want to start anything either. I don't want to start anything with this Keffals person or anyone else involved. I just want to know what's going on. I think Keffals was in hot water because they facilitated hormone slinging / contraband. Oh, Middle Mag is here. Actually, I'm actually a fan, obviously, of not of what she's about, but she is an extremely talented streamer and hilarious trash talker. She has an amazing dedicated base, so I'm not trying to listen. Does her base have a name? Do they have it? I'm not trying to piss anyone off. I literally just want to know what's going on. Don't fucking attack me, you rabid fucking troons. I'm not trying to get involved. I just want to know what's happening. I guess we'll see. Let me look at the description. Zach and Gavin react to Keffals getting called out and exposed by a variety of lefty commentators, including Ethan Klein on H3, Natalie Wynn of ContraPoints, and some ordinary gamers. Okay, so like, here's the thing then. Here's the thing. If all these lefty streamers are exposing Keffals, then there should be no reason for Keffals horde to come after me for any reason when I don't even know who this person is. They should be focused on much bigger people than me. I think that would be great. Let's see. Some ordinary gamers in the wake of recent Vaush drama involving his accidental leaking of his horse taxes folder. Did Vaush show his porn or something? Is that what that means? Vaush showed his porn, didn't he? Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I'll tell you what's going on. Keffals is a man who dresses up as a woman. Listen, man, I don't care if people are trans. I don't give a fuck if people are trans. Please don't. Vaush did show his porn. That's what that means. God, I want to know what Vaush has for porn. Like, I need a hole in the head. That doesn't sound like a very good thing to know. Oh, Vaush had porn of... Oh. That kind of porn. Well, is anyone surprised about that? I'm not surprised about that. Fucking Vaush. Jesus Christ. All right, we're going to watch this video and we're going to see what's what. Feel free to add any commentary in the chat. I'm not making this like a formal thing or anything. I just want to know what's going on. And I can either watch it by myself, lonely, on a Sunday night while my husband is asleep. I can either do that by myself or I can do it with friends on the internet. And it feels just a little sad and pathetic to do it by myself. So I feel just slightly less sad and pathetic by watching it with friends on the internet. So here we go. Let's see what's going on. Hang on. I'm not going to go through a whole fucking intro.
When this news dropped, we were like, the stars align. Finally, the moment we've been waiting for, the Vaush context video. We've also got the Keffals Brigade coming in. We're going to, do a deep dive on all of that. It's a real drama guard episode for today. So all of you on your high horses, you might as well gallop out of town.
Does anyone know who these people are? I have no idea.
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. It's good to be here on a Sunday evening to break down some juicy drama as always. We got some absolutely insane details for you guys about Keffals that have been dripping out.
Really?
And also this Vaush video, the much anticipated, freshly dropped context video that we're going to be reviewing. For
there was actual horse porn that wasn't like a clever Okay, I don't want to know what Vaush is jacking off to. I really... Nope.
For you guys, and hanging out with you guys while we, discuss all of this, break down the latest waves of this controversy. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So buckle in. I guess we'll shout out the Patreon.
Saddle
community.
Up, if you will, guys.
Saddle up. There you go. I got to get my metaphors on point. Shout out to the Patreon community before we get things started. We always like to
comrades. God, they're socialists.
The Vaush video.
Just for the record, though, everyone knows these are not real socialists, right? Like, they might say comrades, they might say some left, but you guys know these are not real socialists, right? Just to make it productive for like 30 seconds.
Maybe an hour and some change ago. I myself haven't watched any of it. I wanted to save my gut reaction, my raw, feelings for everybody in the Vanguard audience. So I've been holding out on myself, but I did my own homework when it came to the Keffals expose that we're about to be going after. Of course, I was vaguely familiar with Keffals up until we first started covering her maybe 3-4 months ago for her.
Okay, just get to Keffals.
I mean, the tides turn. But yeah, I'll pass the baton to you, Gavin. You'll do a better job of explaining all of the ebbs and flows
Explain
here.
yourself, Gavin.
Yeah, so out of all of the kind of Vaush orbiters, Keffals is basically the only one at this point, other than Tipster, who is fully and 100% committed herself to throwing herself on the grenade that is this scandal. I think President Sunday used those words when he was like, "Don't throw yourself on this grenade." Keffals did not take that advice. She threw herself right on the grenade of this Vaush controversy. And ironically enough, this was like literally less than a month after.
Wait, is the Vaush controversy that it was kids, like animated kids, or is it that it was a horse? Or is it both? No answer would surprise me, by the way. I just want to make sure we're clear on what we're talking about.
After she retired her Keffals channel and said that she was done talking about.
Hang on. Super chat from Rottweiler. Thank you. Extra content. Vaush accused anyone who likes context, I think. Vaush accused anyone who likes anime with sensual adult female characters of being creeps, PDF files. And not so long ago, he accidentally showed a folder of lolicon stuff. Okay, so Vaush both did this thing where the lolicon stuff and it was horses. Oh god.
Drama.
Yeah, Vaush's ticket is coming due, apparently. Vaush's bill is coming due. His karma bill.
For good, only to come out of the woodwork immediately to jump all over this and start defending Vaush. And yeah, Zach, you're right. At first, I think most of us on the left were pretty enthusiastic about Keffals. Obviously, there's not a lot of high-profile trans representation in the kind of lefty bread tube space, so it's always cool to have that. And yeah, I thought the Kiwi Farms thing was pretty based for the most part. Obviously the vicious ratioing of right wingers that was taking place on Twitter for a while. That was all good stuff. But more and more has come out about Keffals, and as she's continued to basically burn every bridge like a freaking pyromaniac with every single content creator she's ever gotten close to, lots of people have kind of turned on Keffals and decided that not only is she a bad look for the left, but also for her own community, which she constantly claims to speak for. Let's start off with this Natalie Wynn tweet, ContraPoints. Keffals immediately throwing the entire LGBT community, and specifically the trans community, of course, which she is a part of, into this whole controversy involving Vaush's lolly horse porn stash. And a lot of us, were confused as to why Keffals was not only throwing herself into this drama in the first place to defend Vaush, but
how fucking dumb do you have to be to show your porn on the internet? Like, it's okay. I don't even have porn on this computer. I don't even look at porn. I don't even like porn. But there have been computers in the past where I had like a porn folder. And it's not hard to have a porn folder that is like locked away from any chance that it is ever going to see the light of the internet. It's just lazy. I just don't get it. Like, of all the goddamn things, especially if you have like that, like I don't have crazy porn like when I've had a porn folder. I mean, you're going to have some crazy shit with like animated kids and a horse, and you're not going to think to like make sure that's locked into the furthest recesses of your computer? Like with a password or some such shit, so you like there's no chance. I don't get it. I mean, but you can use the folder. You like, I mean, there are any number of ways to go about this. And I'm not even that technology friendly. I don't know. Wow.
Again, roping her trans identity into this conversation about drawing images of children. It's not a good look for obvious reasons. And Natalie, another member of the trans community, pointed out that using bogus transphobia accusations to defend a cis man's public consumption of sexually explicit childlike images is unbelievably harmful and egregious. So yeah, this was, I think, 100% correct. And a lot of people started to look at Keffals sideways after, again, she roped in the entire trans community, seemingly as a defense for Vaush and his weird porn habits. Again, Vaush is not a trans person. And even if he was, obviously, he is not representative of the trans community. So I thought it was 100% accurate for Natalie to point out that, the accusations of transphobia were totally unwarranted when it came to coming after people like Ethan Klein, who were disgusted by what Vaush revealed to be on his hard drive. So yeah, that was one interesting thing. But then the real damning stuff started to come out, and I'm excited to get your opinion on all of this, Zach, because it's a bit of a deep dive. And to be honest, guys, most of the stuff I'm only just becoming familiar with myself. So let's try to get a good sense of what's going on. We're going to hear a lot about Catboy Ranch. So
what is
yeah,
Catboy
this is going to be a
Ranch?
little bit weird, as I'm sure you guys are expecting. As this person, I think this is Chud Logic. Yeah, Chud Logic. At least this is his producer on Twitter. He says the H3 community has found out about the Catboy Ranch stuff. It's
What is
never
Catboy Ranch?
been more over. And this, of course, leads to a pretty lengthy Reddit thread. I can pull up that over here because this is really interesting, guys. And again, I'm interested in your opinion, Zach, on this, because some of it I think is really bad. Some of it I think is like arguably defensible, but we're gonna get into everything. Again, this says Keffals is so screwed now. Someone posted a massive lore dump on Keffals to the H3 subreddit that is gaining traction, includes things like her whole Catboy Ranch debacle.
Why? Can I weigh in really quickly? Because this, I think it needs to, before we delve into all of this lore as it is, and boy, do we have lore. Might end up being the longest stream in Vanguard history because of all the lore we have to sift through. I want to start by saying that this is all like so foreign to most normal people,
Right.
everything that
Yeah.
we're about to broach.
Yeah.
And the fact that people in our comment section have been routinely trying to normalize this is why the left will lose forever. So in case you guys ever want to bitch and
Oh,
moan
they
in the
think the
comment
left
section
is
about how
losing.
Gavin
Oh,
and I
how
have anything
quaint.
to do with why the left can't get the ball together
How
or that we're
quaint.
being divisive, I want you guys to take a look at the serious streamers on the left and see what they're fucking opining about. But anyway, Gavin, I just wanted to give that little caveat, that little trigger warning, and also to respond to your thing about how Keffals immediately made this about like her trans identity. She did the same exact shit when I busted her balls about her anti-communist crusade. She was like, he hates women. I was like, no, I just hate your dumbass politics and you're a Twitch streamer. Get thicker skin. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. You want to throw stones and cast aspersions, but as soon as the chickens come home to roost, Twitch stream, you know what I mean? So I was like, anyway, gosh, that's such a low hanging fruit. It's like it can't even offend me. It's just,
I mean, I don't think that this is advice that would only come from libertarians, though. I think that this is just like I think like any normal person is going to say, if you're into really fucking weird and possibly illegal porn, don't flash it on the fucking internet. This is just sage life advice.
it's like when Vaush called us tankies. I was like, oh, really? That's the best that you've got? I've never heard that before. Anyway, so I wasn't super surprised to see that. But what I was surprised to find out about is what you're going to reveal from this point on. And again, it's like how much of this is real.
Wait.
We'll have to weigh into.
Breaking news. Gabrielle Clark has given me an update on Twitter about who this Keffals person is. And we trust Gabs. Gabs knows what she's talking about. Gab says He's the Tran-Nadian that I told you about. He's on the run in Europe, last I heard. He got caught by the Kiwi farm for teaching kids how to make homemade HRT. He tried to dogpile me a bunch of times, and it didn't work, so he blocked me. He's a punk. All right, well, good thing Keffals was not successful at canceling Gabs. That's good news. Yeah, conservatives are now going to start screaming about banning all porn, when in fact, conservatives consume more porn than like other demographics. So they, if they really just wanted to get rid of porn, they could just stop using porn. It's not that hard. I don't look at porn. I think porn is gross. You can get through life and be sexually gratified without looking at porn. Pro tip.
And discuss, but it's so crazy. You just almost want to assume that it's all fake. Was that your response, Gavin? Was that your gut reaction? Like, that's how I felt about the Vaush thing at first, right? We've already talked about how there was like, threesomes of like, chicks eating horse ass and like, children hentai AI generated whatever bullshit going on over there. I wanted to just assume that wasn't true, but after mild investigation, there was no denying it. This is one of those similar things. It's like when you say Catboy Ranch, that makes people afraid. That sends the shivers all up and down my gutty works. You know what I'm saying, Gavin? It makes me feel like I'm unsafe.
Yeah, a lot of this is really, really weird stuff. And it's all this like super insular community that obviously Zach and I have not been a part of. And we're going to try to, give everyone the benefit of the doubt to the extent possible. I'm not interested in,
I'm not giving
vilifying
anyone the
people or
benefit of the
smearing
doubt.
people. We're just
No.
giving our honest
Unless
reactions.
there's children
No
involved in it, I'm
benefit of
perfectly
the
happy
doubt.
to vilify
But
and smear
that's not even vilifying someone. That's just being honest about what's going on. Vilifying someone is like,
For sure.
taking things out of context or dishonestly painting a picture of someone. We're not interested in doing this. I have nothing against Keffals as a person. I have nothing against Ian as a person. These are just human beings, but it's our job to give our opinion on this stuff, and it doesn't look good. So
basically,
we
have to
open
open our arms up to their audience and
Okay,
say,
just
guys,
get
you've been
into
on
the
the wrong
story.
side
Come
of
on.
history. You've been on the wrong side of YouTube. You've been on the wrong side of the internet. Come back and get the old-fashioned, Vanguard baptism. All right, it's a trial by fire. You come join our community. We're going to set you straight over here. It's about compassion without the craziness. All right, I think you guys would vibe. You don't have to bend over the barrel for a guy like Genocide and Biden, okay? But you also don't have to
Genocide
be
and Biden. That's what
a
the big
Donald Trump
socialists are
sympathizer. You don't have
saying.
to talk about how Tucker Carlson's actually doing some interesting reporting over. No, you don't have to do any of that shit. You can just be a regular, normal person. Hit the like and subscribe button. Not as many people tuned in as we're waiting for, so we're gonna keep beating around the bush until you guys do your job. Hit
Oh,
the
for
like
fuck's
button, hit the
sake.
subscribe button. Help us get in the algorithm as we talk about the things
For
you guys
fuck's
want to hear.
sake. Get to the story.
and Rituals launched a viral campaign on the internet. As I research more about this event and her, I've come across disturbing revelations of her quote unquote Catboy Ranch. Can't get into more detail, but it's an insane story and none of it is pleasant. He then follows up and says, I plan to cover this sooner, but in the last few weeks, I've had time to truly put towards projects, and this was on the top. If anyone wants to come forward with more information on the now deleted information, come contact me via DMs. And yeah, a lot of people are saying that this basically represents Keffals' downfall, the fact that all of this sort of
what is the
dirt has
story?
finally become public. And yeah, much like with the Vaush stuff, it seems that there's a bunch of weird messages, a bunch of weird, hard to explain sound bites and messages from Keffals in this old server of hers. Plus,
and it's important to remind everybody this isn't normal shit. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, certainly not. I've dabbled in edgy humor over the years. I like to consider Zach and I to be, not exactly a sanitized. Like I like to consider the show to be not sanitized. I think it's one of the things that people
Fraud. You
enjoy.
won't say retarded.
I do say it. I'll die on that hill. But I like to think that we're an edgy show. I like to think that we're not the most PC, podcast out there. And I have a level of tolerance, for humor that's not just, totally sanitized garbage.
Get to the
but
story.
this stuff is just weird. And when it comes to Keffals and Vaush, there's just
Oh.
so many
Catboy Ranch
clips
was a
and
Discord
jokes
server.
and
Got it.
quote unquote out of context statements floating around that it really does just become questionable. And at some point it just is like, do you or don't you pass the smell test? And I think a lot of people have decided that when it
Thank
comes
you,
to both Vaush and Keffals, in fact, they do not. And yeah, their radars are going off when they see shit like this.
Yeah.
Supposed jokes. Here's one. Keffals admits these DMs are real and they are hers. Let's take a quick look here before we get into in my opinion, even more serious accusation or potentially more interesting accusation. Because again, you could just chalk this up to edgy humor if you really want to be generous, if you really want to be charitable. You could just say, oh yeah, Keffals was joking and so was Vaush, and all of these messages ever where they're glorifying pedophilia essentially and celebrating it in a hee ironic manner. Again, I've been in
I don't know, Brucey. What
I've
do you
been
know
terminally
about
online
you
my
usually
entire
know
life.
stuff.
I've also dabbled in
Fill
edgy
us in.
humor, like I said, basically my entire adult life, but never anything like this. You're not going to be able to pull up any fucking screenshots of me out there celebrating pedophilia unironically or ironically. It's just not something that's out there. And I'm sorry, but if you have to be in the position of explaining away over and over and over again why said statements exist, it's just, again, at some point it's going to come down to it just not being a good look and people getting turned off, even if there's not like explicit evidence of you harming children. Again, most people just don't feel comfortable with this kind of thing for obvious
it
reasons.
didn't happen your way out of pedophilia.
Jesus
bro,
Christ, get to the goddamn
Well, we did find
DMs.
you saying all
For
this. Oh,
F's
you didn't see me
sake.
doing it, bro. What? No face, no case, bro. What are you talking about? Like, I'm sorry, but the court of public opinion is going to rule differently.
Yeah, exactly. So here, let's take a look here. This is from Keffals' stream the other day where she explains away a very weird DM.
Deciding to leak the mod signal chat. And I don't even remember the context of why I know I was making a joke in reference to something. I'm pretty sure it was like in reference to people calling me a pedophile. I don't know though.
Well, I think at the time
That does
they were
seem like
also,
a joke.
calling you racist, right? Like that was like the deal. That was like the big deal.
Yeah.
Not a
And
good
like,
joke, but it
let's
does seem like a
combine
joke
these
to
two
me.
accusations, right? Because it'd be funny.
Yeah, because 2022, it was all Catboy Ranch libel and then calling me racist.
Okay, wait. So this is 2022. We are so beyond the whole "I can ironically be racist for clout" movement. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that ship really has never been a good option. But I think we could all, as a society, say like the last ship sailed in 2010. Like 2012 max
Right.
was when.
Yeah.
After that, it was like the chickens were gonna come home to roost for everybody. Like the first one that they got was the one white guy from Odd Future. He sent the Edward on a track. They were like, "Get out of here, guy." After that, it was like, can't do that.
Right. So again, there's a bunch of shit like this going around. There's another one where she, is joking about being racist and a pedophile. Again, kind of, I guess, responding to some of the rumors that were out there. Again, the way Vaush and Keffals talk about this stuff, they make it sound like it's just the experience of every streamer that you're constantly battling allegations of like pedophilia and racism, but it's just not the case. Like, it's just not. I understand that.
Listen though, like I will say this, like when everyone on the goddamn internet gets accused of being a pedophile, like at some point it's gonna lose its power. Now, the horse shit, I don't think that's going to lose its power anytime soon because that seems to be real. But like, I don't know. I'm getting rather being that I've been accused of being a pedophile 19 Ways from Sunday, and I don't even like kids, and I do everything I can to stay away from kids, and I don't want to be around kids, and I don't want to have kids, and I don't want anything to do with kids, but yet I still have people on the internet calling me, like, I'm just dubious about these things at this point. I want to see some actual evidence. All right, Yuki, okay, well, we'll see.
It's popular to, throw shit at people and take things out of context, especially if you're a controversial figure online. But it's just not the case that your average political streamer out there is constantly having to deal with allegations or accusations of pedophilia, let alone racism, let alone both.
True.
Like, it's not something most of us deal with. And if you are dealing with it, perhaps it's because you need to deal with the consequences of your own actions and your own words and take some goddamn accountability rather than trying to gaslight everyone in the online left about why this behavior was acceptable and why it's actually unacceptable for you to point out that it's gross. And that's what really pisses me off about all of this, guys. Like, I think if Vaush had just immediately come out here and said, "Hey guys, this is a bad look. I'm sorry. I should have done my due diligence when downloading hentai porn, and this is not good." You know, I've in the past
Just
said that
own the
people who
porn.
look at lolly
Just
stuff
own
are
it.
pedos. And for this to be on my laptop, I know what it makes me look like, so I apologize, and I'm going to do better going forward. If he had just done that, and if Keffals had just stayed out of it, I don't think we would be doing this stream. You know, I don't think there would be this much content to be had from the whole affair. But the fact is, they keep doubling down and they keep gaslighting everyone. And if you guys know anything about me in the show, it's that I hate being fucking gaslit. Don't tell me that I'm not supposed to have this big
Get into the story.
big, you know, and most controversial aspects of this whole Catboy Ranch thing is that supposedly Keffals was like shipping hormones, like unregulated hormones, to trans kids whose parents wouldn't get them for them. So like if you're a trans youth and you're trying to transition but your parents don't support you, oftentimes people will turn to the black market essentially. And Keffals and her ilk were apparently facilitating this in a sense. Let's just read here because I don't want to butcher it. And also there's a lot of, you know, allegations included in here that there was a bunch of inappropriate behavior going on in this Discord, which I think makes the whole hormone thing worse than it would be on its face. Again, given all of this kind of context and all of these weird and inappropriate jokes, comments, and just generally the way that Keffals and Vaush as well were interacting with their often underage fans. But let me just
hang on. Keffals is a grooming victim by her parents and continued posting after getting surgery in Thailand. The Communist Party of Canada is her jam. Oh, good. She gets into running for party seats in... Okay. The Keffals thing is accurate, though. There are police receipts, as far as I can remember. That's why he's fled to Europe.
Just read this real quick, and I'll get your opinion, Zach. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to find the part about the hormones. They're often... One second. Yeah. All right. So conservatives would attack her and say she was grooming kids because of the whole bathtub estrogen thing. I just think it's morally fucking insane and abhorrent to direct 12-year-old children to self-medicate. There were no doctors involved. What was that?
Agree.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was waiting for you to push back, but anyway, let's keep going.
Well,
there were no doctors involved, no safety measures, nothing like.
Do you have a better suggestion? Because this is the one that I found on Twitter. So, do you have a better suggestion of something to watch? Well, then be useful and tell me where. Don't just complain. Offer a solution.
That just shit directly from China. Chloe called this bathtub estrogen. Edit. I changed the text saying she bought and sold this stuff. I was incorrect. She just showed kids where they can buy it and do it themselves. Most of these products come from China and are not regulated, tested, or verified to even be the drugs they paid for. Sorry for the mix-up. I am not trans. I'm straight and know very little about this world. So if there's any incorrect information about the bathtub estrogen, please correct me. I wanted you guys to be aware of it because I couldn't for the life of me figure out why she was so defensive to Vaush's pedophilia criticisms and why she felt like she was personally being attacked and self-injecting herself into the situation. And this is something that a lot of people have pointed out. They're like, why are you so invested in this whole thing? Why are you so...
You're not modded, so I can't see your link. Can you just tell me where?
Vaush, when you could just completely stay out of this. Why are you not only...
indulged every right-wing conspiracy argument? Every whack job can now use it as ammunition. It was completely thoughtless. It was dumb as rocks. But yeah, it was so weird because it essentially validated every like weird right-wing hoax about the LGBTQ community, particularly the trans community, right? Which is like to be like, oh, well, this is like totally normal. To be like, it's like, no, it's not actually. This is not normal behavior. And to go back to the like I understand people are going to want to push back in the comment section and be like, well, they didn't have any recourse to go get these, like, this medicine themselves. It's like Keffals herself never got a medical degree. She never went
Okay.
and became a doctor.
There is nothing I can look at on the Lanza channel because this is happening now. And I don't see current content on that channel. I see content from weeks ago or months ago, which is not what I'm looking for. So I appreciate the suggestion, but like I want what's going on right now.
Doctor. It's not like she devoted her life to helping trans kids transition, right? She became a live streamer, right? And I hate when people who decided to sit in a comfy chair and wax for a living, when they try and like put the cart before the horse and act like they actually committed themselves to some like great.
The video that you suggested is a year old. So I mean, I'm like, it may be good for getting up to speed, but I want to know what's happening now. I appreciate it though.
Or good, you know what I mean? Really, no, what you're doing is you're a Monday morning quarterback. All right, it is what it is. It's entertainment. You are filling a role. People need to be entertained, but it's not the same as somebody who's out here, on the front lines fighting for people. You know what I mean? And I think that when those lines blur too much, that's when bad things happen, right? So I could accept, and we'll dig into some of the more nefarious elements. I can accept in a vacuum that somebody could virtuously but misguidedly help people.
Let me see. This is from 1 day ago. 24 minutes long. Okay, hang on. We can watch this and see what's what. We can watch this and see if this is any better at explaining what's going on.
So the political YouTube streamer Vaush got caught with bad material on his PC, and literally everybody of every demographic online is shitting on Vaush except for his fans and two big content creators, being Tipster, who I covered in the previous part, and Keffals. So today in part 4, we are going to take a look at what she said, as well as the reactions to her stupidity. One of the people who reacted to her was the big Twitch streamer Hassan, who got clipped by End Cloud Culture on Twitter, who captioned the clip by saying, Hassan was absolutely right about Keffals' demand for tit for tat, let everything slide deal. She knows it too, because she later deleted these tweets.
Hey, you didn't address anything I said. I'm not pro lolicon, and if I thought Vaush was, I wouldn't defend him. Can you please have a discussion about this instead of putting me on blast for 2 million Instagram followers and pedo-jacketing me? It's gross. Ethan, I know you're going to see this, even though you won't respond. I defended you a while. You were having a meltdown over the stuff with Hassan. People give me shit for it. All I'm asking for you is to show some shared ability to those who showed it to you. I'm not your enemy. Dude, these people, like what are they doing? They literally think it's like a tit for tat. They're like, hey man, I defended you actually, and
they do think
you're the big content creator that I defended, and why aren't you defending me right now as I'm saying unhinged things in defense of a person who was exposed to have like a bunch of lolly horse porn in their fucking porn folder? Like, you're demonstrating what your framework is. It's just quid pro.
Has Vaush said anything since he exposed his horse porn? Has Vaush made any like public statement or contrition? Like, what is going on with him? I just want to say that Tim Pool once called me an SJW for me saying that he shouldn't have platformed Vaush. This was like 4 years ago. And Tim Pool had a whole meltdown on me on Twitter because I said, Tim, it was fucking retarded for you to platform Vaush. And he said, you're an SJW participating in cancel culture. And I just want to say that maybe, Tim, maybe it was predictable that Vaush would be the type of person who would have lolicon horse porn on his computer. Maybe that was something that those of us who were actually thinking about the type of person Vaush is and what Vaush was doing at the time, maybe some of us could have seen that coming. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a psychologist.
Oh, Joe, right? Exactly like Donald Trump. You're right. Quid pro Joe.
But Twitter wasn't the only place where Keffals defended Vaush for having lolly horse CP cock porn on his computer, but she also defended him in a 5-hour and 40-minute live stream, reacting to Ethan Klein of the H3 podcast, also criticizing Keffals' tweets. Nicholas Diorio shows a clip from this stream and says, "This is absolutely shameless manipulation, laughing my fucking ass off."
I literally
I
have
do.
Ethan's phone number. He gave it to me. I'll try to call him later. Do not fucking call me. I don't remember giving you my phone number. I don't remember talking to you on the phone, but do not fucking call me, please.
Do you want to know the context of that?
What's the context?
It was back when
What is
Twitter
he saying?
circles
Is he saying
was
anything
still a thing.
interesting?
And
Oh,
I was suicidal. It was before I went to rehab. And he saw a Twitter circle where I was talking about how I wanted to just fucking end it.
Oh, all right. Maybe I should fucking look at this fucking Vaush thing. God damn it. This is already turning into a much bigger rigmarole than I would have thought it was going to turn into. Just wanted a chill night. Just wanted to see what was going on. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking this up. A new wrinkle on the brain podcast. I appreciate you. No comment. Check. Let's see. Oh, you guys can't see what I see. Hang on. Stand by. Stand by.
Yeah, people are going to say what they're going to say.
Why is this freezing?
They can judge me.
Why is this freezing?
Well, you got him. I think that's insane. But again, it's not really an evidentiary argument that I can make. So, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I don't know. God willing, anime culture will get better.
I've got to be real. This clip is just begging for.
I did everything right, and they indicted me.
So, yeah, that's the long and short of it. I'm sure there are other clips or screenshots or arguments out there that people have.
Hang on, I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna rewind. Oh,
documents.
Vaush's model is a fucking JoJo.
Like, just stay away from hentai. If it
yeah, they could hit refresh, but if they want to watch the whole,
like, it very much.
He's
when does
basically
Vaush come on?
That is how he sort of rocketed to fame. Became so prominent. He became so prominent that he caught the attention of a creator. What he says, thing. Not an issue of Vaush. What is the analogy to the the child? So
Vaush isn't like
there is one. Like, this is the person
type. This is why I come here. My professors never want
to. What video is she showing? Oh shit! I just fucked up my slime. What? Yeah. So it doesn't look like he was. It was him live. Okay, hang on. Everyone knows Vaush is also not a socialist, right? Oh, he responded on Twitch. The context video. Okay. I see the response. I see the response on his channel too. Okay, I want to go back to the other thing and then maybe we'll watch. Yeah, like I feel like no offense, a new wrinkle on the brain podcast. I feel like this has gone completely off the fucking rails now. I want to go back to the original video.
People who were unable to get their, gender affirming care, roll the dice and get something that's unregulated and, unsupervised, from a country that is not exactly known for medical.
So, and I'm not trying to be like a bitch about it or anything, but it's just like there are too many videos flying around now. This is just supposed to be chill. Okay, so basically, Keffals is someone who is on the run in Europe that was providing homemade testosterone to kids or something, homemade hormones to kids. And then Vaush was discovered to have lolicon horse porn on his computer because he's a moron and didn't properly hide his porn folder. And then everyone dogpiled on Vaush for having porn on his computer. And then Keffals and this other person defended Vaush. That's where we're at.
Medical regulation. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? So
No,
I can
Vaush is
understand that.
not-
I think it
no,
would be deeply
no,
misguided.
Vaush
I
is
think
not
it
a
would
real
be wrong.
socialist.
I
No.
think that you should be penalized for that. I think that there should be recourse, you know, because I don't think that's the correct decision. I think that is child endangerment, right? I think that that's wrong. But I could understand the line there. What I don't understand is then jumping from that to I want to endanger children. So if you're so committed to helping children, if you are just desperately kept up at night by the fact that these kids they don't feel like they're themselves, that they get like the fear of going to school is too much for them, like it's agonizing to you. Those are all real human empathetic emotions. I could understand that. That to me makes sense. But when you combine that within this like extremely predatory line of discussion, like that's like, oh, I'm gonna defend a pedophile, or I'm gonna then defend somebody with lollipop. Like it starts to erode how seriously I take your commitment to protecting children
And
and making
apparently
sure
they
that
also
children are
watched
safe.
the
You know what I mean?
Vaush
In the
video
same
as
way
well.
that when people on the right wing
Okay.
will say, oh, it's just about protecting kids, and then protecting kids, and it's like, oh, really? Why don't you start by rooting out the Catholic Church, you fucking idiot? How many scandals on the position?
Is incredibly dangerous, especially when some of the people who received it had literal hair in their doses. And in case anyone isn't familiar what that's about, again, I have 5,000 tabs pulled up, but I'm going to do my best here.
So
let me
start
show you
going through
guys
them.
what they're referencing, because apparently some of these, doses of hormones literally had fucking hair in them when they got sent out.
Bro, I'm sure they had all kinds of fucking shit in it, dude. Has anybody ever heard of stepped on drugs before, bro? Anything you get from China, I just imagine it's stepped on is all piss. Like, here's how I'll give an analogy. Even under the best circumstances, when there's not like an intent to make something that's like hyper regulated in other areas. So, right. So, like, say you want to get like DMT sent from China or some shit like that. Like, that's different than if you want to get like
Has hair in it.
protein powder made at some like weird factory overseas, right? But even if you could just buy protein powder or creatine or any of this shit, anybody who watches combat sports will tell you that you can't just go into the what's that place called, like GNC or whatever the fuck, the like get jacked place where they have all the supplement stores or supplement superstore, all that shit. You can't just take those if you're a professional athlete, because it's going to be cross-contaminated to all piss with all kinds of stuff that you don't know what the fuck is in that. You don't know what it's for. It could be steroids. It could be this. It could be that. You don't fucking know, right? It could be anything legal that, or even illegal in this country because they made it overseas. You know what I mean? Then you're just getting trace amounts of it. Now that's something as innocuous as like creatine or like, super supplement or something like that. Now imagine you're dealing with something as vulnerable and as like something that's gonna, mess with your body makeup as much as HRT is, and then advocating that people do that DIY. It's like, Gavin, I am so pro-abortion. I don't have a problem with anybody getting an abortion.
There are socialists who advocate for DIY hormones, by the way. One of them is a woman named Jules Gill Peterson. She's an associate professor of history at Johns Hopkins University. I have her on tape advocating that college students use DIY hormones. So this is not just like a fucking internet streamer thing. This is actually among the real socialists. Again, these are not real socialists. Among the real socialists, they do actually do this stuff.
Do you think I'm
great? And
fast forward,
not even really discussing.
Reason they scary. Also, what kind of diseases could put on that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be like that, but yeah, I do remember some speculation about wet markets carrying diseases back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you inject that into your fucking body. Like, there's a reason that you're not supposed to inject smack you got off the street, because you don't know what the fuck's inside that bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And of course, that's just talking about the product itself. We're not even really discussing the fact that the people in this Discord who were being recommended this like black market estrogen or whatever you want to call it, these people were minors. They had not been diagnosed by a doctor necessarily with gender dysphoria. And I think that most people who are trans, like, they know they're trans. They don't necessarily, need permission to start transitioning and stuff. But when you are talking about like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and 14-year-olds, yeah, I hot take, but yeah, I do think it's probably important for some sort of consultation with like a medical professional.
Bro, that's not
to
a hot
take place.
take. Don't. As soon as you say that this is a hot take, this is a problem. And like, look, we're cis guys. We're sitting here. You guys can say whatever you want about that. I understand. But let's just be honest with each other, okay? Let's be honest with each other, okay? We're right here. We're advocating for the common man, the one who doesn't have pictures of child porn,
fucking
and the one that doesn't eat
Fucking please.
right? So,
Next evidence.
okay, but I
Come on, next
past
evidence.
the basic trans community percent. And by the way, Benjamin, shout out to you for the $10. Thank you. Maybe she just thinks her friend is innocent and wants to defend him. Once again, I'm going to defer to that tweet from ContraPoints, because I think the fact that Keffals decided to rope in the entire trans community into her defense of Vaush is really one of the most disgusting and unforgivable aspects of this whole thing. Even if you want to look past the basic premise of someone like Keffals defending her friend for having lolly porn on his hard drive. I mean, even if you want to overlook that, I think Natalie's point is so excellently stated here, that using bogus transphobia accusations to defend a cis man's public consumption of sexually explicit childlike images is unbelievably harmful and egregious, which is why a bunch of right-wing accounts have, of course, run with this and are using Vaush's stash and Keffals' involvement to, unfortunately, make the point that trans people are predators, LGBT people are predators. She's playing exactly into their fucking hands, which is really hard to watch as people who are very cognizant not to engage in anything of that sort. And we have these conversations. Of course, we're just talking about the individuals involved, not the communities they represent, in the same way that, when we talk about Keffals, we're not talking about the white community or something just because she's white. Yeah, we're also not talking about the trans community just because she happens to be
Isn't
trans.
she Canadian?
I think she is Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Right.
Canucks.
We're not roping in, Canadian people when we're dissing Keffals. I wouldn't even fucking know Keffals was trans if it wasn't part of her, public identity, right?
I'm pretty sure you
so
would.
I think that's part of the reason.
Yeah, and if anything,
pretty
also
sure
not
you
to interrupt you,
would.
Gavin. I know, but what I was just going to add is that if anything, it's because it is her public identity, right? It's not the fact that she herself is a trans person, right? It's that she has a public platform with all
Get to the
edited,
story.
pornographic, and that's what he put up on screen, guys. Let's go back to that, because I know we've got Benjamin, Big Daddy Fat Stacks, in our chat that's going to want to argue with us about it. Look, this is what he put up on screen, pal. And I know we're going to react to a fuckload of his, Cope stream, the why I did it kind of react-a-log. We're going to get to all of that, but you have to understand that was everything he wanted you to see. What we are going to, pontificate on ourselves is what was in that XXX gifts folder. What was in all of the other folders that you didn't
There were other folders?
accidentally open on screen. You know what I mean? Anyway. Shout out to you, Rick Bungle. We're hoping we don't bungle this audience of 489 of you with the like button and the subscribe button, because we're just getting started, pals.
Yep. The deep dive has only just begun. And as it says here, new evidence has surfaced that the DIY estrogen she used to sell to kids as young as 12 had fucking lolly art all over its packaging.
I saw that.
Here you go. So again, it's not a good look.
Click on that. Well, I don't click on it. But
I know. I was about to say. I would open that link.
My instinct is to be like, no, that's so sorry. Like, everybody could be like, Zach wants to see no, my instinct is to be like, that's so incriminating. That can't possibly be true.
That's on Twitter.
Possibly be true.
They can totally click on it. It's on Twitter.
Like, we dogged on Keffals because she made all that cringy Destiny content and the scourge of communism. Oh, the specter of communism is haunting, Kansas City and all this shit, right? And Gavin and I have been living through its horrors. Communism's been terrible for all of us, right? We were dogging her for that, of course. But I still have to, to me, there's a difference between just having dog shit understandings of what creates our socioeconomic reality.
Oh, for fuck's
and what makes you
sake.
just a moral black
I'm not going to be lectured
hole.
because I want to be socialist. Go to the next part of the story.
And sister kumbaya, right? Okay. You look at something that makes you super uncomfy, right? And you feel hot. Okay. You feel hot and it starts in the back of your neck. And then I looked into this because people got mad as fuck at me for making a joke about this months ago when we were coming after Keffals for something unrelated. They were like, how dare you talk about this? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember some shady shit coming out about this. I did my homework on Reddit boards. I can do that too, y'all. And guess what? I was vindicated. So let me go ahead and remind everybody what exactly happened. A lot of people were saying that the individual involved was actually pretty apologetic, right? That it wasn't this callous, fucking brutal, fuck you, hate crime. That it was actually
why we don't listen to fake social.
Was she misgendered and was that traumatizing? There's no reason to doubt that. That is not up for discussion, and that's not what I'm doubting here. However, I would wager the clout building, and the reason that there wasn't a $100,000 civil suit was because it wasn't actually intended to be like a hate crime. It wasn't intended to be a defamation. It was one of those sad experiences that is unique. The traumatic beginning of this before
% reduction in depression and
Okay. This looks relatively new. What is this?
Right. And let's take a look again at some of what Keffals has weighed in with, because I want to, put up her responses to some of this drama on screen too, just to be fair. This is what she's been tweeting, going back to her typical tactics of basically saying anyone who disagrees with whatever her stated opinion is actually just a conservative, or echoing the opinions of her conservative haters, which is completely disingenuous. You guys know we're staunch progressives and allies of the LGBT community in literally every way. You're not going to find more steadfast supporters and allies than Zach and I on YouTube and the BreadTube space. But here she says, one study of more than 9,000 trans people aged 13 to 24 showed a 40% reduction in depression and suicide attempts following.
Okay, so Keffals is literally saving people's lives, according to her. Fine.
At a certain point, they both become biological percent or
system in the first.
What other evidence is there?
That Zach was
not defending what's the name of the city? Sparta. They weren't defending Sparta. She's just defending drawn child pornography. Kind of the same. It's like the same righteous battle. So there's this video that I want to look over some of my favorite parts, but there's also other really fun Vaush updates. Like this one guy who we said he's a self-admitted pedophile, Mr. Girl. He got upset that he's demanding a retraction, but I don't think I went far enough in my description of him, frankly.
Really?
So, yeah. But you're not gonna believe this shit. There's just like a whole group of these people out there. It's blowing my fucking brain out. And I know I'm not the only one. I know y'all are just, and it's not like I want to keep talking about this like so much, but we can't let the pedos win. They need to be snubbed out, ground into dust. You know what I mean? There's no space for ethical consumption of CP, drawn or otherwise. So cute. He even sleeps in the cutest spot.
Yeah, so funny.
Funny on here, talking about our dear friend Keffals. What's that about?
I honestly do think it's the duty of the left to come out like extremely forcefully against this shit if we ever do want to be able to dispel the it's because it's not like a trap, right? Like it's not like
I don't
out here
care
and
about your commentary on whether or not you should
There's
denounce
also
pedophilia. I don't care.
Contents of this entire discourse and the things that not only Vaush but Keffals are.
I don't care.
I figure you probably travel.
I really thought there was going to be more of like
jarring
hearings in this.
Would like Keffals really could.
Okay. What's this?
That's the.
We're gonna go to that
he didn't
Vaush
consider
video
how
in
many
a second.
communities are close to his. He hurt me and a lot of people by literally being a fucking weirdo. Go watch porn on your phone. Arslur jerking off at your work computer. Fuck Vaush. He deserves far more criticism for all of this. I don't think he's a pedophile, but he is so goddamn reckless. I am not sleeping. I have had panic attacks over this. Defending him has resulted in all the 2022 Kiwi Farms misinfo resurfacing. And because of Vaush, I just burned the last bridge I had to a mainstream creator. I think that's the Chris Chan dude that someone in our chat referenced. I'm also not familiar with his content, but I guess he just came out here and was like, no, fuck this shit. I don't want anything to do with it. So here's Keffals. Now she's throwing Vaush under the bus because of all of her dirt getting exposed. So she jumped on this grenade, right? And now that it's resulted in all of this Catboy Farm shit resurfacing, which of course she's just chalking up to
Here's the thing. When content creators play this bullshit game of like, I'm going to defend my friends no matter what because they're my friends and it doesn't matter what they say, it doesn't matter what they do, I'm going to defend them, eventually that's going to bite you in the ass because most content creators are absolutely garbage human beings who do not give an F. So, like, if you just do the right thing, eventually it will pay off in the end. Now, you may not be able to go on like some big like shows or streams or like whatever, and you may not be able to have like big collabs with these shit human beings, but when it turns out that they're shit human beings, you're going to be like, okay, it was a good thing that I didn't defend them that time. It's always who preach the loudest. My default stance is distrusting people who yell about it the loudest because more often than not, they have the most skeletons in the closet like these guys. I mean, yeah. All right, they're not really giving us anything, so I'm going to go back to this 25-minute video, and hopefully that is like a little bit of a better summary.
And he reached out and gave me his phone number. That's what the context was.
Okay, Keffals talking about Ethan
Piece
Klein.
of shit.
I will definitely. I'm not interested in talking on the phone or answering a call from an unknown number. Frankly, you're like 2 steps away from getting me on the phone. 2 great barriers are between us. She says, I'll try giving him a call later to see if this can be sorted instead of becoming online blood sports. Well, listen, that's kind of my business.
At least he's honest.
A bloody business.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's just honest. That was my takeaway, you know? In 2022, I really wanted to build a platform to make the world a slightly better place. That's why I did the charity streams I did. That's why I organized the Drop Kiwi Farms campaign. All of the things that I did were in pursuit of a goal to make this world a better place.
I don't believe that for one
And the biggest black
second.
pill to swallow has been to realize that none of these people actually give a shit about that.
Well, that's
This is
true.
all the entertainment industry.
True.
It's all about getting the bag. It's not about anyone else.
Yes,
That's
that is
why
true.
he is so fucking indignant about the idea of looking at the products we consume and how they're made.
Yeah.
And y'all just defended animated CP. So let's giddy up.
Nick continues tweeting when he says, she got in this to afford putting substances up her nose and going on vacation, by the way. Detective Deckard says, this puts Ethan in a great light. Dude's handed out his number to so many people on the cusp of game ending themselves, he couldn't possibly remember all of them. Jessica Pizzle tweets out another clip from the stream with the caption, oh my god! Of course it wouldn't be Keffals' Cope stream without using her mental health as a shield to protect herself and attack H3H3.
Hey, stop dialing. Keffals, put the phone down.
It's like really fucked up with the context that I have his phone number because I was planning to kill myself. And now it's just like a big joke laughing at me. He was the one who gave it to me.
H3 shows the same clip on his Instagram story and says, wow, this Ethan guy seems like a real piece of shit. And then Chris the Narc tweets this out and comments on it by saying, Keffals attempts to guilt trip everyone with her Minecraft attempt, and Ethan not buying it, laughing my fucking ass off. The grift is failing for her. Chris the Narc then posts another clip from that stream and says, Keffals and Tipster are 2 of the most retarded people.
Just for the record, I find this entire thing incredibly distasteful on both sides. I don't think there's any good guy in this. Both of them are nauseating. I wouldn't want to be involved with either of them. No.
Ethan and Hassan are working together, and insinuating everyone who's shitting on Vaush as a creator are working together is maybe the most conspiratorial thing I've heard. Keffals, put the coke down.
If you like juiced some kind of a like Taylor Swift's thing, like the Super Bowl today. I mean, come on, dude.
Evo.
Because it wasn't about getting that kind of audience. He wants Hassan's audience back.
Naptown, always here, always lurking in the background.
That's what this is about. And attacking Vaush was a way of attracting Hassan's audience.
By the way, can I say this? Side note. I got so many people saying, Carlin, you were showing shoulder with big tech and and I'm like, I literally wear this at least 2 or 3 times a week, and it's a sweatshirt that's like 3 sizes too big for me. And so I want to know, why is no one commenting on the shoulder today when the other day when I wore this on the big tech stream? And by the way, I also wore it on the 5 p.m. stream and no one commented on that either. And then all of a sudden, when there's a handsome man on my stream, they're like, Carlin, you're showing shoulders. I mean, it's like, I guess like a backhanded compliment, but I'm just like, you guys never comment on that otherwise. Like, this is what I said, John. It was like, when I was on his stream the first time, I was showing both my shoulders because I was wearing a cut-up t-shirt. This is all I'm saying. You guys are totally fine with me wearing the sweatshirt that's 3 sizes too big for me when there's not a handsome man on my channel. But as soon as there's a handsome man on my channel and I look exactly the same as I always look, you guys are like, oh. Jesus.
That he lost after Leftovers ended.
It almost seems kind of coordinated in a sense, and this is obviously just speculation on my point.
Well, given the fact that like Ethan and I have DMs, like if Ethan has DMs with me where he's giving me advice on how to fuck with people, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that these are very.
Next time I talk to Big Tech, I'm wearing a hijab. True.
Very common conversations behind the scenes with creators. I wouldn't even be surprised if Hassan ended up like sending Ethan a bunch of Vaush receipts.
Well, this reminds me a lot of some drama that he got involved in many, many years ago when he was still a commentary creator. There was like a feud between 2 other commentary creators, and he was like sliding into the DMs of one of them to tell the other one, like, don't give him a platform to defend himself, and basically like kind of stirring the pot behind the scenes. This is a very common thing for him.
Well, think about it like this as well. Hassan is a lot more defensive, a lot more bitter than he used to be. This time last year, he was in the top 10 Twitch streamers. As of last week, he's number 13. He's no longer a top 10 streamer. Like, he's falling off.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, Vaush, his platform is continuously growing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hassan ended up coordinating something. Like, it's a win-win situation. Ethan gets the boost from the lost audience that he got, and Hassan gets to deal with his political competition.
It just was very like I understand like Hassan will sometimes talk about stuff that's going on in the space on his stream, but it's just really odd how quickly it happened where like Ethan talks about this stuff and he's spamming his Insta story with, our responses and everything. And then like instantly there's Hassan to comment on it on his stream.
Yeah, it was the timing, especially when Hassan had said previously he would not talk about me on his stream. And then he did it again.
Because you got to remember, like I came from a community where people are very coordinated like that. They'll like do these like, I'm going to put out this video and you guys can react to it. And other people can like, here's, some stuff that you can use in your videos, etc. And they all work together to try and like come at someone together. So I've seen these kind of things happen before, and would not surprise me. And again,
you know what? You're totally right. If I did actually find a hijab and wear one on my stream, all of a sudden those morons on Twitter would be like, Carlin is advocating for Hamas. Look, Carlin has joined it. Like, that would absolutely happen. God damn it.
And to be clear, just speculation on my part. It would not surprise me if they were working together on this shit.
Yeah, no, and
Chris continues his thread by saying, I can't believe I have to say this. Everyone hates Hassan, and Ethan broke his show up because of his viewers. You two need fucking help. Vaush's channel is growing, so it makes sense why Ethan and Hassan would work together to take them down. Dude, Vaush's channel hasn't grown in almost a fucking year. And then he shows the comparison between Vaush and Hassan's YouTube stats, showing that Hassan is far above Vaush, to the point where it's a stretch to even say they're in competition with themselves. Parking Tiger shows a clip from the stream and says, wow, Keffals and Tipster are having a meltdown. Going after Ela now?
I mean, I can also be bad faith, Here's a photo of her holding a rifle in her IDF uniform. Wonder what she did with that rifle. If we're gonna just be bad faith and use out of context shit,
Nicholas Diorio shows this tweet from Keffals and says, "This grifter just keeps pulling out all the cards, laughing my fucking ass off. Cry, Keffals, cry! It's over!" He then shows a tweet from Keffals that says, "I hope that Ethan is happy. Labeling me and my community that is disproportionately made up of trans people, all pedophiles, for simply asking him to do better research has made all the most insane anti-LGBT freaks come out of the woodworks to mock, harass, and dehumanize us. At this rate, he can repair the bridge with Jordan Peterson. They both sure love to spread groomer libel against queer people." Nick continues by saying, "He did the research. You are doing team sports politics and defending someone because they are on the correct side of the political aisle. You deserve every last bit of pushback you've asked for." Erilyn responds by saying, "It's weird how she and Tipster just inserted themselves into all of this and made it a bit about them." Gracie says,
"Okay, who is Tipster? Can someone fill me in? Who is this person?" I mean, I get it seems as though Tipster also defended Vaush and then like was talking to Keffals. So I understand that much.
No one brought up trans people until Keffals did. Every drama has to be about her, so she cry for sympathy. Tipster responds to Keffals with an out-of-context clip of Ethan saying he'll dab with the Nazis, and Skelly reacts to this by saying, "Aw, Keffals is crying right now with Tipster comforting her." After Keffals' horrible cope stream with Tipster over Ethan criticizing Vaush for having CP on his computer, lolly CP to be specific, fellow transgender creator ContraPoints calls out Keffals' argumentation against H3 when she tweets out, "Using bogus transphobia accusations to defend a cis man's public consumption of sexually explicit childlike images is so unbelievably harmful and egregious." That's all I'm going to say about this. Yes, the video is coming. And from what I've heard, the video is coming is just her updating her fan base on her next video in general, not a video about Keffals, Tipster, and Vaush. Anyways, Cactus responds by saying, "But officer, I thought she was a short stat goblin." Well, obviously referencing Vaush's excuse.
You know what I did bot? I mixed two of my slimes together because I had one slime that was like a floamy slime that was just really, really sticky. And then I had this other slime that was more of like an icy slime that was like, it was one of the first slimes I got and it was getting older and it was like really shrinking. And I was like, what if I mix these two together? Will it make it less sticky? And it was actually a really good idea. They both smelled like vanilla, so it smells the same, but it actually made the really sticky slime much less sticky. It's like a really nice texture and I'm enjoying it. So try mixing your slimes.
For having those images on his computer, which we covered in previous videos. Luke says, "I consider it a mark of chronically online recovery that I don't know what this is about." Keffals responds to ContraPoints by saying, "She tweeted this after I relapsed, in the weeks before I went to rehab. She was so happy that I was on the cusp of ending it all, because the spectacle took the heat off of her. She can absolutely fuck herself. She's a vulture and I have never trusted her." Showing a tweet that ContraPoints made last year that says, "Keffals is the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm so off the hook." Keffals continues by saying, "She was cheering me on publicly when I took on far-right harassment forms, but when the harassment got too much and..."
Okay, let's see what Brucey has to say. "Tipster is a Keffals ally who got a YouTube following from exposing Susie Liu for watching anime on YouTube and getting her copyright struck. Can't make this up." Indeed. Indeed.
My mental health spiraled, she was mocking me publicly for it. She is a vile, disgusting human being. Keffals then responds to the new tweet ContraPoints made about her by saying, "I have been getting called a pedophile all day relentlessly. It started when Ethan decided to put me and my friends on blast, calling us all pedophiles. I never defended anyone consuming child pornography. You are a lying sack of shit, and I have no patience for snakes like you." Dreamleaf responds by saying, "Her good friend Hillary Clinton is married to an actual Epstein Island enjoyer." Keffals then sees this response and tweets out, "Remember when ContraPoints invited Hillary Clinton into her home? The woman who defended her husband that visited Epstein Island and took flights on the Lolita Express? ContraPoints loves befriending people who have covered up for pedophiles and human sex traffickers. I don't know. People can say what they want about me. I've never had someone in my home who was a degree separation away from Jeffrey Epstein." Nicholas then tweets out this tweet in conjunction with an older Keffals tweet and the caption,
Dan is making a good point. Someone's gonna take that slime comment out of context. They're gonna be like, "Ew, what are you mixing now?" I'm like, no, it's slime. It's literal slime. That's all it is. It's glue and it's clay and it's little fucking styrofoam like balls and that's all. This is slime. This is not a euphemism. I'm not making a euphemism. So I understand why Vaush is getting canceled. He should be, but what's going on with Keffals? It seems as though Keffals defended Vaush, and that was the crime.
These tweets are 8 days apart, laughing my fucking ass off. That 8-day-old tweet is Keffals saying, I want to be a more open and honest person, even if some people will attack me for being vulnerable. I'm actively avoiding internet drama. It made me a toxic, bitter person. I hated myself. I don't want to deny any one community over internet beefs no one will remember in 5 years. Anyways, getting back to present day, or at least the 13th of February, I'm a little behind on this, but regardless, Gistlick reacts to Keffals calling out ContraPoints for inviting Hillary Clinton into her home by saying, implying trans people are pedophiles harms the trans community, except when Keffals does it. Jalen responds to Keffals attacking ContraPoints by saying, Keffals is an annoying drama monger. She's bad faith and constantly plays victim about everything. We get it. You scammed your fans for $100K and spent it all on coke. It sucks that you got doxxed and went through all of that, but move the fuck on already. I've kept my mouth shut, but I'm so tired of her blatant obvious grift and exploitation of the trans community. She's not a good person. Everything with her is, oh, you're attacking the trans community. Kiwi farms this, Kiwi farms that. Shut the fuck up and move on. But Twitter was not the only person reacting to Keffals and Tipster, as during this time, LolCow Live podcast went live in order to give Keemstar a chance to talk about all of this. Keemstar says, update, both Keffals and Tipster have been added to our Discord call on LolCow Live right now. They are refusing to pick up. Both are on Discord now.
Keffals is here. Keffals, what's up?
Oh shit.
Keffals.
That mic issues. Ah, she's sandbagging it.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have Keffals on here. Maybe this is like some stupid like troll. Haha, I gotcha. You're only trolling yourself because we invited you to show up for a discussion about the current topic and you're running away, which it would be crystal clear to everyone. So
Chris the Nerk reacts to this by saying, imagine being afraid of debating me in Wings. W Boogie laughing my ass off. Keffals is a pussy.
So you guys can have your discussion now.
I'm so happy I'm not on this side of the internet.
I'm gonna go piss. Keffals is
I've got Vaush's response video queued up to watch after this to see what he had to say about his horse porn.
literally saying here, what's in it for me? Let's discuss payment. No. Are you joking?
So after this, the Discord DMs between Keemstar and Keffals for getting her on the show leak, and Xylee tweets it out with the caption, wow, Keffals is running from LolCow Live. Let's get this straight, lady.
Well,
you are not that
Okay, which is worse though? Which is worse? Which is worse? Is it worse that it was horses, or is it worse that it's lolly? Or are they equally bad? But I kind of feel like, okay, this will get me in trouble, but isn't lolly just like, it's like a cartoon, right? We're not talking about like actual people, but is the horse like a literal horse, or is the horse like a cartoon horse? Yeah, well, like this is the question. Are they both animated, or is one animated and one is real? Because if one is real and one is animated, the one that's real is probably worse than the one that's animated, just because anime is not real.
Important. She then shows the DMs, which start out with Keffals saying, 1 sec, L. Keemstar responds with question marks, and then Keffals responds, firing up my PC to join in. Keemstar responds, you have 10 minutes, and then 7 minutes later says, 3 minutes. Keffals responds, what's in it for me? Let's discuss payment. Keemstar responds, no one is paying you. Tommy C then shows more of this interaction between Keem and Keffals, which shows Keemstar saying, no one is paying you! And then Keffals says, you are a bald pedophile, and leaves the group. TILR responds by saying, I thought calling people pedos was wrong. Isn't there a jacket or something? Boogie2988 shows the Discord DMs and says, wow. Keffals said she would come onto the podcast. Then after saying she's coming on, tried to extort us. Camelcast official responds by saying, everything these people do is motivated by cash. All fake and disingenuous people. Everything they say is an act. There's a reason this corner of the internet died in 2014. Papa Uwu X says, from staggering to extortion. Keffals makes Logan Paul look like an ethical businessman. Mango says, Weebin knew she only cares about money. Memology101 quote tweets Boogie and says, typical commie. Scott Sullivan responds to Boogie by saying, this is a move people who think they are smarter than they are pull. A puppet master move. Grade A scumbag. It's always these weirdo shit lips who pull that stuff too. Keffals responds to Boogie by saying, you literally need to pay me if you want me to talk to Keemstar. He's a fucking retard. Keffals then complains more about this situation when she tweets out this clip from a streamer called Bad Empanada and says, Bad Empanada, a leftist YouTuber with 120k subscribers, just just said that transgender people as a collective are racist pedophiles who use being transgender as a shield. I'm so disgusted with these people.
Aggressive to pedo jacket trans
Wait.
people. First of all,
Are the leftist YouTubers turning against the queer activists? That's a serious question because it kind of seems as though, like, if they're denouncing the trans YouTubers, that seems like a positive development anyway.
first of all,
Whoa.
I didn't say anything about trans people, and the fact that you even brought that up in this conversation is really fucked.
That's so fucking weird too. Like a lot of these people, I honestly just they seem to like be obsessed with using trans identity to like defend the indefensible. Like you're not attacking them because their opinions is dog shit because they're defending horrible things because they are horrible people. No, the only possible thing is because they are trans. Like they are honestly, as a collective, they are on average pedophiles, white, racist.
White.
Yet they like, they're pedophiles who do racism from a position of whiteness, and they defend themselves from a position of transness. And it's fucking disgusting.
Keffals continues by saying, as a collective, they are on average pedophiles is an insane thing to say about trans people. I am stunned. This is a leftist, not Matt Walsh we are talking about. Sweet Goblina responds, it's pretty clear he's specifically talking about Vaush defenders, lol. Drew Pavlu responds to Keffals by saying, fresh from being suspended from Twitter this morning for calling for terror attacks on American and Israeli citizens. Bad Empanada declares that all transgender people are pedophiles. Bad Empanada quote tweets Keffals and says, my response to this dumb bitch.
Keffals is someone who is like physically a hunchback of Notre Dame, who sits at home all day with a very carefully chosen camera angle, defending the indefensible in like the worst, dumbest streams you could ever possibly imagine. Zero analysis, zero talent, zero knowledge, zero anything of substance. Pretty much the definition of human garbage. It's absolutely insane that someone like that could get a platform. And really the only way that she got a platform was not even because of anything to do with her merits. It's because of something that happened to her. And that's the only way it could have happened, because she has nothing going for her at all that could have possibly resulted in anyone actually wanting to watch her for any reason aside from sympathy.
So after all of this, Keffals was still not done defending Vaush Lolly Horse CP Leak, as she made an entire video against Ethan Klein titled Vaush and the Hypocrisy of Ethan Klein, and the whole video basically boiled down to this.
This is like so exhausting because like it starts off from a premise of being bad faith and misinterpreting an argument and just going over out of context clips, and it just continues to go. Every action that Ethan has taken starts from that premise, and everything is just fucking wrong.
Yeah, the video was full of arguments like that, and it really didn't make any sense. If you really want to know what she says, you can check it out, but it's really not necessary to watch. Nicholas Diorio reacts to it by saying, the new Keffals video is hilarious, because it's the perfect rebuttal to, you drama people just talk about others, because you have nothing to offer, laughing my fucking ass off. Every single time people think this content is easy to make, a real stinker gets dropped and everyone laughs. Despairing response to Nicholas Diorio by saying, I love how she cries about commentary YouTubers about drama, but also proceeds to poke the hive repeatedly for drama to happen. Nick responds, because she is unironically too boring to function online. She's only being heard when she screeches idpol. Chris the Narc says, what does Keffal have to offer to the world anyways? Failed political run, failed sobriety, failed drama channel run, and she cried that Kiwi Farms mainly watched her channel to laugh at her. Most she did was collect an easy 100k and move to another country. I reacted to Keffal's video by showing the most egregious part, and all I really need to see from the video to know that it was going to be horrible, being the beginning of the video, where she dedicates it in memory to Tony Winchester, the man who got falsely accused of being a pedophile on Drama Alert, who passed away 2 years ago. My tweet says, Keffals dedicated her video defending Vaush's Lolly Horse cartoon CP folder leak to the memory of Tony, a man who got falsely accused as a pedophile. What the fuck? Withered responds with this picture of Krusty Krab next to a grave, saying, am I really going to defile this grave for money? Of course I am! With the caption that this is Keffals. Nicholas Diorio also shows the beginning of Keffals' video and says, can't wait till she's run offline laughing my fucking ass off. She's so monotoned and slow, it's unwatchable. I think at one point she also straight up stole my title. It has to be a bad look for Keffals to make a tantrum video because she got eviscerated by Ethan laughing my ass off. King shows the beginning of Keffals' video and says, Keffals throwing anything at the wall now. Weaponizing the black community, LGBTQ, now a dead guy? You and your fat friend have no shame. Mudahar's wife Dojangles reacts to Keffals using Mudahar's laughing meme in her video and captions it by saying, random unnatural use of laugh. But Twitter wasn't the only one to react to Keffals' horrible video, as Ethan decided to make yet another stream shitting all over it. Kristen Ark posts a clip from this stream with the caption, starting off strong, laughing my fucking ass off.
Be careful about false allegations of pedophilia.
Wait,
In
this is
fact,
her
This is her channel.
character?
Yeah.
Her
I didn't know that this was her thing, but like, why the chair moving
because
up
it's
and down?
kind of ironic considering the topic. It looks like
A child?
yeah.
It does actually. I mean, that's a child in like a dog outfit, right? And I mean,
Fiona reacted to H3 making a third stream on this by saying, Ethan's really milking this for all he's got, eh? This is beyond pathetic. Dreamleaf responds by saying, aren't his fans getting bored of this? Laughing my ass off. Fiona responds,
Is this-
he's carefully developed a fan base of people who absolutely eat up to...
Is this what people do on the internet all day? I am so bored right now. And this is like spicy drama, and I'm just like, do people do this all day, every day? This is why everyone on the internet is stupid, right? Okay.
disgusting drama, most well established through the whole Trisha Paytas saga. Intel CPU tweets out, this is devastating to Keffals, showing that Rebel Taxi tweeted out, I do not like Keffals, and this got retweeted by Chris Chan, someone who was just interviewed by Keffals a month ago, so even Chris Chan is turning on Keffals while Tipster refuses to. Anyways, Keemstar tweets out, search Tipster's hard drive! Keffals quote tweets him and says, pot meet kettle, showing a tweet from Keemstar where he said, you guys keep telling me to date someone my own age. I googled 39-year-old woman. I will not listen to you guys. If you remember where you were on 9/11, I'm not interested. Parking Tigers responds, pictures of adults are illegal. Pictures of children which you are defending are not. Very well said. It should be common sense, but that type of sense is something that Keffals and Tipster are lacking, as evident by all of the hours and hours of stuff they've said online in defense of Vaush leaking.
Okay. I know this video only has 1 minute left, but I feel like I've gotten as much like information about Keffals is in trouble because Keffals defended Vaush and Ethan Klein had something to do with it, and I don't really understand what, other than Ethan Klein sent probably a mob of people or something, but like Keffals is basically in trouble because Keffals defended Vaush, and then all this shit got dragged up from like a couple years ago that people already knew about. Let's watch some of the Vaush video. I want to hear what Vaush has to say about having lolicon horse porn on his computer, and then we'll call it a night. I'm disappointed in this Keffals stuff, man. I wanted better coverage than this. I was hoping for someone to give me a good breakdown, a succinct breakdown. I wanted tea. And all of this leftist garbage, it's like, these are worse than the socialists. Good night, Reagan. We'll see you tomorrow.
Video I probably should have made a long time ago. There are two main reasons why I haven't. For one, everything we're about to talk about has been discussed.
I have not watched Vaush
over.
in years. In literally years. I have not had any desire to I still don't have any desire to watch Vaush. Whatever. No, I agree, Sam. Do not have any expectation that Vaush is telling the truth at all.
And over again on this channel, in live streams and in videos. Some of it has been discussed to death. Over engagement with the topic has caused it to have a disproportionate influence both on my community and on the way people outside of my community perceive me and my channel. The second main reason I've been hesitant to make this video is because experience has taught me that, generally speaking, if folks want to hate you or distrust you or whatever else, it's pretty difficult to convince them otherwise. Sometimes, if you're unpopular enough, even if you've got a good point to make, just the attempt to change people's minds can come across as kind of self-incriminating. You actually ground them further in the positions they already have. You know, it's one of those deals
There is
where
no such
the
thing as a
people who
libertarian
need to hear it
socialist. That
won't
is not
listen,
real.
and
That
the
is like a
people who
unicorn.
will listen don't need to hear it again. Let's get right to it then. Let's not waste time. What am I actually talking about?
Okay, so I don't want to watch Ethan Klein. I don't like Ethan Klein. Either like really? So are you guys talking about like Ethan Klein did a response to this Vaush video? Like this specific one? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I hate to drop this on the people who just innocently watch me for my political content and don't engage in any broader community drama. Some folks online have called me a pedophile. Now, this in and of itself isn't actually that noteworthy. With the political climate being what it is, folks are getting accused of being pedophiles on Twitter left and right. It's pretty common. But some people have called me this way more insistently and a lot louder. So why? Remember how I said self-defense can come across as kind of incriminating, even if it's accurate or well-intentioned? Yeah, even though I've gone over all this before on stream or in videos, I wasn't exactly jumping at the bit to make a why I'm not a pedophile video. That's not it's a rough subject is what I'm saying. You know, that's one of the reasons why it's so effective as a smear, of course. It's just incredibly difficult subject to engage with. So let's not waste any more time. We've got a lot to go through. What then is this video about? What do I have to say, and why do I want to say it? What are my goals in
Why did you
making the
show
video?
people your
Well, the
horse
gist of
porn?
it is this. When people accuse me of being a pedophile, they usually do so while presenting pieces of evidence, often clips from my live streams, that make me look bad. While I do think that a lot of the claims and pieces of so-called evidence used against me range from being uncharitable to outright dishonest, the fact remains that I have said some incredibly stupid fucking shit on this channel, especially really early on, like right when I started streaming. And I don't fault anyone for seeing clips from that and being suspect of me. You know, I wasn't doing myself any favors. I'll say that much. For a lot of them, such as the ones where I'm making a point that is overall good and like uncontroversial, but I do a bad job of making it, there's nothing for me to really like debunk. You know,
Well, okay.
it's
Like
not a
what I will say, and I am not coming to Vaush's defense here because I will never come to Vaush's defense. But what I will say is, again, like I've been accused of being a pedophile 19 ways from Sunday because a guy I dated in college pled guilty to a crime he didn't commit. And like I happen to have dated him in college, and therefore I'm a pedophile. And it's like I can say over and over again, I don't like kids. I don't want to be around kids. I don't have kids. I don't want to be near your kids. I want you to keep your kids as far away from me as possible. Like, I can demonstrate with my behaviors every single day that I literally want nothing to do with kids. And people would be like, still be like, Carolyn's a pedophile. So it's like to say that like all you need to do is make a video denying it and that's the end. It's like, that's not exactly true, right?
Takedown. It's more a matter of charity. You know, I have to go and look at these clips and explain what do they mean. You know, what was I thinking? What was I saying? Is this clip like so dishonestly cut that you know no reasonable person would interpret it as looking bad if seeing the full context, or was I saying really stupid shit and I'm gonna have to like work to explain what my thought process was at the time. And past that point, it's up to other people to either believe my charitable explanations or believe significantly less charitable ones. You know, that's up to them. In addition to some of the legitimately really stupid shit I've said, I'll also cover some of the more bullshit accusations because I don't know, they're transparently bullshit, a lot of them. I feel like you would have to already dislike me to read anything from them. But you know, a lot of it is
I
that.
want to
So
go to
I need
Vaush's
to
like table
sort
of
of
contents.
point that out too. So as far as I can see, there are 4 groups of people that I'm addressing here, more or less. The first group is my core audience, the people who have seen me address this and provide context.
Okay, we're
for this.
gonna go right to 55 minutes because like Vaush basically goes through a whole fucking rigmarole. I don't care about most of this stuff. I just want to get to like the good stuff with like the horse porn and stuff like that. So we're fast forwarding through like the first hour of this video.
Fortunately for me, my presence online dates back way farther than the creation of my channel, which means people interested in finding examples of me saying stupid shit have a pretty wide range of material to choose from. Before I had a channel or was even known as Vaush, I was a frequent and notorious shit poster in the community of a streamer called Destiny. I know, that's why I am the way I am. I had been in his community for a long time, really long, and I really enjoyed the edgy, irreverent debate lord culture of
I don't
his
care about
Discord
this.
server.
I don't care about
So
Destiny. I don't
let's look
care.
at some of the stupid, edgy, irreverent shit I. So after all that, now we finally arrive at this
The horse
most
porn.
recent drama,
There we
the
go.
incident that lit a fire under Drama YouTube, and is, to my mind, the only thing I've done in the past 4 years that actually looks bad. It's pretty fucking embarrassing to say the least. So there I was streaming a few weeks ago, browsing a men's fashion site. I wanted to look at an image more closely, so I right-clicked to open the image in a new window, but then accidentally instead clicked the Save As tab in the right-click drop-down menu. Now, because I am, as has been extensively demonstrated in this video, a fucking idiot, my preferred strategy for keeping my desktop clean is to keep a single big folder called To Be Sorted, where every image, document, music file, whatever I happen to download gets sent. This is an insane thing to have as a live streamer, but you know, there you go. It's me. So I hit save as, and a half second later, a preview window of the folder and its contents popped up on stream. And now, of course, that folder had porn in it. So I immediately ended the stream and deleted the VOD, even if it weren't just embarrassing to make a mistake like that as one of the largest political live streamers on the platform. It's TOS. You got to delete the VOD. So I stream with no delay, and folks are always screen capturing the feed. So I knew the contents of my To Be Sorted folder and the preview window were irrevocably public knowledge. But to be honest, that didn't really bother me too much. It was embarrassing, sure, but mostly because it made me look like a careless idiot, not because I was ashamed of the like
Horse
furry
porn?
demon monster GF
Horse porn.
big dick porn stuff I knew I had in there. You know, I had rambled about liking all that stuff on stream before, not a secret. And I thought, you know, maybe in a way, this fuck up would come across kind of charming. You know, like, that's my streamer, that fucking idiot right there.
All right,
My
let's
community
find
was
that.
already making a big joke of it by the time I went live again. Of course, I knew as soon as the folder opened on stream that it would be pretty easy for people to lie about what it contained, to stir up drama or cause me trouble or for any other reason. So when later on in that stream, 1 or 2 people came into chat and they said, hey, there was lolly in there, you know, I figured they were just causing trouble and I banned them. Of course, we know where this is going. By the next day, I had learned from what felt like the entire goddamn internet that 2 of the images in my folder preview window were actually from a well-known lolicon artist and therefore definitely intended to be lolly shit, which has to be the worst possible way to find out about that sort of thing. Now, obviously, the accusation here isn't just that I had those images saved. That part's true, not really an accusation, but also that I must have known that they were lolicon and saved them
How could you
because
not know?
they were lolicon.
How could you not
Now,
know?
the obvious and
Did you hang
predictable
on?
but nonetheless
Hang
true
on.
response from me is that
Did Vaush trip and accidentally download porn on the internet? Because it's not like it's not like easy to accidentally download porn on the internet. It's not something like you hit the wrong button and you accidentally download porn on the internet. You have to proactively find the porn. You have to like right click on the porn or like something like that. How do you accidentally download porn? Yeah, like I tripped and accidentally like my dick went in her. Oh my god, like it's like I tripped and I got pregnant. Like what do you want?
No, I didn't know that. And that must not have been the impression I got from those two drawings, because if I had gotten that impression, then I wouldn't have saved them. You know, I mean, drawings are abstractions, and art styles and body proportions vary massively, even for characters
It
that are
just kinda
unambiguously
happened.
adults. That doesn't
Mhm.
mean lolly
Yep.
shit isn't a thing or a problem. I've bitched about it being a problem like a lot on
Yeah.
stream.
Exactly, George. Exactly. It's like saying, I'm not gay. I just regularly trip and fall on dick. Exactly.
It just means that carelessly or inattentively failing to notice it isn't exactly impossible. Yeah, I know what some people are going to say. You know, no, you must have known. There's no
Yeah,
way you didn't
Vaush.
know. And like, what am I going to do? Make a fucking evidentiary argument here? You know, like I'm not putting up the images so we can argue about the pixels or the proportions or whatever. I know fully well that like 99.9% of people who have heard about this drama haven't seen the images, nor do I think those people should go looking for them, obviously. So it's pretty much entirely a take me at my word or
Sam, can you post, you said you had the video, can you post the video in the Discord or something so that I can see it, not putting it on YouTube because I'm not doing that shit, but can you post that video in the Discord?
don't kind of situation where people are free to lie about the drawings, or as I've already seen on Twitter, just post other really bad looking
Like
shit and say that's what I had in my folder.
Sam, if you post that video on the Discord, put some like disclaimer on it so no one accidentally watches it without knowing what it is. I don't want to trick anyone and like get accused of like sexual harassment in the Discord or something.
There's not much I can do about it, right? It's all totally unfalsifiable, and people
Is
are going
the
to make
tweet
whatever assumptions and
okay?
inferences they want to make.
That's
All I can
fine.
really say is that I didn't notice the problem while saving the drawings, the same way a person could fail to notice any element of any drawing if they were careless or inattentive or distracted. Hell, chat
And why
also
did you
pretty
download
much
it?
immediately clocked two other drawings in the folder preview window as being AI art, something else I didn't notice, and they gave me plenty of shit for that too, because I'm not a big fan of AI art. You know, I think I've done a good job of demonstrating a tendency towards carelessness, if nothing else. So, leaving that stupid, least charitable argument aside, someone might then ask, okay, I get it. It's possible to make a mistake like that. Why then would you save the images? And what about them did you like? And look,
Exactly,
there's
Vaush.
really no way of saying this without sounding crass or flippant or whatever, but you know, it's already pretty revealing video. There's actually a very clear and simple explanation for why you know, for not just those two drawings, but in fact all the drawings in that folder and all my porn tastes generally. And it's an explanation that is extremely well known and well substantiated. I'm a size queen. I like big dicks. Yeah, I was looking through drawn porn like furry or hentai or whatever else. I saw a big, well drawn dicks. I thought, cool, and saved the drawings, then never looked at them again, as evidenced by the fact they are in a big dump folder literally called to be sorted. That's you know, that's the extent of the consideration that I gave those two drawings before my community and then the entire fucking internet hopefully corrected my mistake. It's hard to even say anything about it. You know, 5 seconds of ooh, nice dick, cool line art, saved, and it's a whole discourse. You know, I wish I had an answer that was more satisfying, but really for something like this, I feel like people are going to believe what they believe.
If that's true, can you imagine how much porn Vaush has on his computer? Like, what other creepy porn has Vaush accidentally downloaded onto his computer And I'm saying if you believe this is true, which I do not believe this is true, because I think, you know, socialists always lie. Vaush pretends to be a socialist, so let's go with that. But how much other crazy and possibly illegal shit has Vaush downloaded onto his computer if he just accidentally downloaded this without thinking about it? Hang on. Bot sent me a picture. Okay, let's look at this real quick. This is... Hang on. I gotta get it copied into the other thing. This is only a 10-second long clip of Vaush showing us his horse porn. And apparently is censored, but that's okay. Let's all see what's actually happening. Not that one. This one.
He fucked up too. What? We've all jerked at the lolly at some point or another.
No, replay.
You can see this is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to. It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up too. What? We've all jerked at the lolly at some point or another.
Okay. That's it. All right. Fine. Yeah, Vaush could have 1 terabyte of crazy porn. Vaush could have many terabytes of crazy porn. Maybe someone should raid Vaush's house and get his server and find out exactly how much crazy shit Vaush has downloaded onto his computer. Just by accident, of course. He tripped and downloaded a bunch of like gross and possibly illegal porn onto his computer.
I do think there is a real argument to be made about carelessness, especially with regard to Lolicon and its seeming omnipresence in the anime community. You don't have to know much about anime to know that's an issue with it. Yeah, I find it repellent, and I've been bitching about it for years. Plenty of that bitching has been on stream too. But it's possible to find something repellent. Well,
I just want to say too, this is why you don't fuck around with porn. Especially if you're going to be on the internet. Like, porn is gross. Porn stars are gross. The energy of porn stars are bad. Like, most porn is just like, it's just like a curiosity. It's not even to get you off. And P.S., like, you can have better fantasies in your head than you can ever see in any porn. And you'll have better orgasms if you do it that way anyway. So just learn how to fantasize vividly. Learn how to visualize vividly. Get yourself a fucking, I don't know, learn how to fucking meditate. You don't need gross porn from the internet to get off. My God.
Not being perfectly vigilant about it, you know, especially in art where stylization and abstraction can kind of, I guess, cloud awareness and judgment of the extent to which any artists you follow or people in the community might be doing sussy shit, right? Pardon me for taking my most indefensible position yet on this, you know, in this video. In the history of my channel, I actually do like some anime, you know, and there's a lot of really good shit out
There's
there in
no
the
good anime.
community
Anime
broadly, and in a lot of the sick anime babes getting railed on Twitter. You know, I'm sorry, like often that is also cool, and I hate the fact that you know the pervasiveness of lolicon means that the entire community is tainted, basically, right? I don't like the fact that like you could be looking through what looks like a bunch of totally like normal, fine, cool babes getting railed by big dicks, whatever you're into, you know, while also feeling like you have to be vigilant that in this incredibly normalized process, some of these drawings might be of characters that are canonically underage, or that like an artist who generally draws in a kind of like cartoony style might be fine, but then another artist does but then they're like actually
normal people don't accidentally download anime porn of underage girls. That's not something that normal people do.
drawing like they're meant to be teenagers or whatever. I don't like it, and it's a normalization issue, and I think one of the best ways you could deal with it is by being aware I'm not perfectly aware, so I fucked up. This wasn't the first time that I fucked up in this specific regard. After the whole child labor argument saga, people went through a bunch of likes in an old public Twitter or porn account that I had, and over like thousands of liked furry big dick monster girl images or whatever. I think they found one that was like the character was meant to be a teenager, and it's not surprising to me that that might happen because I'm running between classes scrolling on my phone. I look at an image maybe 2 or 3 seconds before I like. The degree of scrutiny required there indicates that this goes beyond some kind of like matter of personal temperance and extends broadly into like, how weird is it that that's something that's been that normalized, you know anyway. I don't mean to like make a big point or make it like a broader issue, as a way of pulling attention away from me fucking up. I just think it's a broader issue, people are going to say what they're going to say. They can judge me for what they're going to judge me for. I think a lot of people have been real uncharitable. I think it's insane to say this like, yeah, it's a pedophile. You got him. I think that's insane. But again, it's not really an evidentiary argument that I can make. So, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I don't know. God willing, anime culture will get better one day. I wouldn't hold my breath though. So, yeah, that's the long and short of it. I'm sure there are other clips or screenshots or arguments out there that people have thrown into their big anti-me documents. But like I said, I wanted to focus on the accusations that I feel are at least somewhat grounded. If I took the time to tackle all the obviously fake or disingenuous shit, we'd be here forever. And I think it would take away from the stuff I actually did feel I needed to address. Again, walking that line, there is a lot of bullshit, but I don't want to convey the impression that I feel every attack against me is illegitimate or at least not properly motivated. So yeah, this isn't about debunking a narrative, it's about waving away the most transparently bullshit stuff so that I can focus on explaining the actual mistakes that I've made, the actual stupid shit that I've said, providing context and laying out my thought process so folks on the fence have all the information before deciding to lean charitably or not. Yeah, I can't make someone be charitable. It's just up to how they see things. And, I can't ever view all this drama from an outside perspective. I'll always be biased because I am literally the only person who really knows how I feel and why I've said the things I said. And, but to cap it all off, to cap all this off, I'd still like to try my hand at it. I'd like to try and present the charitable narrative, how I feel this all looks with all the information and how I hope people take it. Again, not holding my breath on that one, but this is what I hope for. I have said some really, really stupid and difficult to defend stuff. Now, that much is clear. But almost all of it comes from the very, very beginning of my time as a live streamer. Looking at it all laid out like this, 5 or so years of drama and accusations, I think it should be clear to people who have watched this far
Hang
that
on.
the explanatory.
This is an interesting question from Steve the Socialist. Does this current controversy with Vaush, God, why can't I talk tonight? With Vaush help the right? No, not in any way. You want to know why? Most normal people don't know who Vaush is, and most normal people don't care. Most normal people in the real world just go to work, to come home, to take care of their kids, to sit down and watch the game, and to not worry about any online drama bullshit. Like, I had no, like, if I wasn't in this world, I would have no fucking idea who Vaush is. I barely even like register Vaush as it is. Like, I know who he is. Like, he's on the other side of the internet. I don't want to watch him. I don't want to interact with him. He's just like another person on the internet. Like, most people have no idea about any of this subculture bullshit. So no, it doesn't hurt the left and it doesn't help the right. It's just online drama. That's all it is.
Variable in all those old clips was my stupid fucking debate bro brain. The obsession with inane hypotheticals and devil's advocates and shock value bullshit, which I employed because I thought using examples and comparisons that normies couldn't handle proved I was smart. It really is impossible to overstate how much I dislike the me in those clips, how I used to act in general. That being said, the terrible arguments and hypotheticals really were contained to those shock value debate bro moments.
Hang on, I got a super chat from Rottweiler. Thank you, Rottweiler. The right will overreact and will say dumb stuff like ban anime is for pedos, and burn more bridges like they do on a regular basis. I mean, is this even registering on the right, though? Like, is anyone on the right talking about this? I haven't seen anyone on... The only reason I even know about this is Keffals was trending on Twitter. And when I looked at it, I didn't see anyone from the right commentating on it. I saw, but I do have a lot of I do have a lot of conservative influencers blocked, so I wouldn't see them because why would I want to? But the people that I saw talking about this were leftists, so it seems like more like an inter-party circular firing squad than it does any sort of partisan tribalist thing. I remember everything. I have a savant-like memory for some things. Not for all things. I don't have a photographic memory, but I have a savant-like memory for some things.
As I stopped being that kind of debate bro, the terrible arguments and hypotheticals stopped. And that's why just about every clip used against me is at least 4 years old. They're more or less contained to a period of time during which I employed a rhetorical style that I would describe as fucking stupid and insufferable. You know, even if the point I was making was fundamentally okay, I was also just way worse at communicating, which didn't help me. And that's another thing I'd like to stress. You know, if anything has been thoroughly, objectively, uncontroversially demonstrated in all of this, it's that I'm a loudmouth. I can't shut the fuck up. I have no filter, etc. Worse than it is now, but nonetheless, it's a character trait. But in all the hundreds of times that sex or sexuality or kink or whatever else has come up on the stream, sometimes while I'm near blackout drunk from celebrating some event or another, you know, no filter, I've always been really, really blunt and consistent about what I'm actually into in people, whether it be people my height or people with big round glasses or people with really dark, tired looking eye circles or pronounced collarbones or aquiline noses or whatever else. You know, I know this is a low bar, but it's really weird to me because people accuse me of being a secret pedophile who accidentally let his mask slip by virtue of several months of extremely loud, abrasive, attention-grabbing, optically dogshit arguments. And yet, also, back then and now, has been really consistent in wanting a girlfriend who looks like Reagan Ridley from Inside Job. You know, like, that's a very novel way of letting the mask slip, right? Like, you know, no filter whatsoever. Clearly a poor sense of how other people will, you know, interpret his words at times.
Yeah.
Not always the best
horseshoe
communicator.
theory
And yet
is absolutely
every
real.
time this happens, it's always contained to hyperbolic debate bro bullshit. It's always shock value, rhetorical bullshit, which again, like, I know, low bar, right? But that, to me at least, that's the pattern. That's the clear pattern. And I don't do that anymore. I'm a lot better at making arguments than I used to be. I'm a lot less, I don't know. I'm not trying to deflect. I'm a lot less autistic than I used to be. I don't know. At least marginally. These edgelord debate bro tendencies led me to think that the best way to construct my arguments and convince people that I was edgy and smart and blah blah was through the invocation of the kind of stuff that I have been dealing with the consequences of for 5 years. I, more than any.
Does everyone see how much over explaining Vaush is doing in this? Vaush is saying a lot of words, but those words don't really mean anything. But he's saying a lot of words. Do you guys see how, like, the man doth protest too much?
One
And they're
know
still
the
they're still almost there's still over 15 more minutes of this video.
problems with those arguments. I just think that they indict me in different ways than people think they indict me. I think if nothing else, I mean, I think they just make me look like a fucking idiot. You know, I have one that I'm trying to be less of. Ideally, I would like that. I certainly don't think I act now the way I did then. I don't think 5 years from now I will look at me now and think as poorly of me as I do looking at me 5 years ago. There has been some improvement. That's the charitable explanation. That's the best I can offer. I think I set the stage with that child labor argument. Me being who I am, I mean, I was always going to get on, people's nerves. And to an extent, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. A degree of abrasiveness, I think, is a necessary and endearing trait in some people. Cope, I know. But I think that a lot of the stuff that's happened in my career over the past 4 years has been tainted by the way I made those initial arguments. And a lot of the stuff people throw at me, they wouldn't have thought to throw at me if it wasn't for that initial poisoning of the well. I think a lot of this is inertial. It builds up, and I don't know how to stop that inertia, right? I mean, people say, you talk about this often all the time. You CP on your stream, but well, here I am talking about it again. Will this be the last time, or will a month from now I'll be talking to someone and they'll be like, aren't you that pedophile? And what am I going to do? Stop the conversation and link them the video? Inertia is a difficult thing to stop. I think that's actually like the meaning of inertia, like definitionally. So I could opine at length about how a lot of the hate I get is inconsistent, and it's all a big popularity contest, and I'm an easy target, and people get upset with me for shit they'd write off if other people did it, and blah blah. But pointing out all of those extremely true and correct facts, it doesn't solve the problem. I don't want to be disliked. I don't even really want to be controversial. I think the stuff that I advocate for is universally good. I want everyone to live a better life. People disagree about how to do that, but as long as you're on the path, as long as you think people being happy is a good thing to fight for, then I think there's at least some agreement to be had. I don't want to be controversial for that reason, or for a lot of the reasons.
Vaush thinks he just wants to fight for people to be happy. Well, Vaush claims to be a libertarian socialist or a socialist libertarian, but that's not a real thing. I just want people to be happy. If you just want people to be happy, we both just want people to be happy. Okay.
Reasons I seem to be. I get into fights with people who agree with me on like 99% of shit. I think my channel's a cool and positive place, and it and my community are both a big source of pride for me. So I'd like it if everyone, or half of everyone, some proportion of everyone, could see it that way. There's not much I can do about the optics black hole, though, at least not right away. I don't expect this video will get much positive attention on release. I think it's going to be kind of broadly ridiculed, largely, I think, from folks trashing it who haven't actually watched it. This is something that I expect. This is something we all know will happen. Whether or not you agree with me on any of this, you know that'll happen. It's unfortunate, but I can't make that not happen. I can't, like, rewrite reality. So if I can't do that, then I just have to accept it. And I'm sure there will be like drama YouTubers who comb over it and pause every 2 seconds to talk about the like pedophilic contour of my frontal lobe or whatever. You know, they'll just make a big laugh riot out of it. Still, in spite of all of that, as best as I can, it's honest and straightforward, and I don't think there's much I can do besides present it that way and let people make their own judgments. So yeah, that's it. I'm done making all of the arguments about my past and how people perceive me and blah, blah, blah. I want to take a second here at the end to directly address just my audience.
There is
and
no
what I'm
such
hoping
thing
for
as
in
a
the future and what
libertarian
I'm asking
socialist.
for from them. You can still watch if you want, but if you don't care, then you can leave without missing anything. So to my audience, thanks for sitting through the whole thing. I know you don't have much of an attention span. Especially because
Sam, this is possibly the smartest thing that has been said all night. What we've really learned in this is I don't think anyone is surprised at Vaush having fucked up porn on his computer, and possibly illegal porn on his computer, because Vaush doesn't pay attention when he downloads porn, apparently, and will just download anything onto his computer. So what other porn has Vaush accidentally downloaded? But I think our biggest takeaway from this whole affair is that the reason that Vaush is obsessed with huge dicks is because his is teeny, 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 tiny. And so he is living out his unlived self.
To this type of content on the channel. Don't laugh. Live streamers only turn into video essayists when they're extremely nervous. Look, first of all, I want to apologize for making
I
it
said
so
the same thing.
difficult
I
to
said
be
the
a
same
fan
thing.
of
What the
mine,
hell else is on his computer?
and a member of my community. Seriously, I'm sorry. In this respect, at least, you know, I think I've let you guys down. I think this is a great community, you know, exceptional even. And as a consequence of my obstinance and carelessness and stupid fucking debate bro hypotheticals, many of you have been ostracized from other online communities or harassed on my behalf. The content of this channel and my messaging is unambiguously progressive and inclusive and good-spirited, you know? It's
not socialist.
That might not be the popular
Vaush is not a
conception of
socialist.
me and my content, but it remains true nevertheless. None of the people who enjoy my content for those reasons expected, I imagine, to be pushed out of other communities with similar values because they were a part of mine, because of me and my reputation. Yeah, I don't want that to continue being the case, but I don't really know what I can do to change it. You know, there's already such a massive gulf between what I know I am and what people think I am. The inertia of the uncharitability that I'm trying to push back against, it just feels overwhelming at times. While I'm working on that, you can help. You know, I want you guys to chill. Stop fighting on my behalf. Stop arguing for me against others, especially on the subject of this video. That's one of the reasons I made this video. You know, I saw so many people in my community tirelessly arguing against the worst and most dishonest shit people say.
If I can find one agreement with the socialists who watch me every now and again, is that we might not agree on a lot of things. We see the world in very different ways. But what the socialists and I do agree on is that Vaush is not a socialist.
Say about me, and I wanted them to have something that they could point to. This video, 5 years of drama, of bad faith bullshit and honest skepticism, condensed and addressed as clearly and as honestly as I could. If you're in another community and someone is giving you shit because they think you support a pedophile, point them to this video. And if they don't want to watch it, then that's that. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. It's their choice, right?
Vaush is actually making a good point
This is
here.
something that we've seen time and time again. People don't just
he is actually making a good point, and I say that as someone who has been defamed 19 ways from Sunday on the internet. Like, if people don't want to know the truth, and I am not insinuating that I think Vaush is telling the truth in this video, but what I will agree with him on is that if people don't want to know the truth and they just want to destroy someone on the internet to get their ounce of flesh or like whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And people who don't want to know the truth will self-identify themselves as people that are just not worth interacting with and not worth like I try to tell people all the time when they try to like argue with people on Twitter to like, you know, share, like it's coming from a good place. They're trying to teach other people my content and stuff like that. And I'm like, I understand why you're doing this, but you're about to get into a 17-hour argument with someone who is literally never going to listen to you. And it's going to be a big giant waste of time. And the moment that you figure out that talking to someone is a big giant waste of time because they are not interested in what the truth is at all, just block them and find other people that do want to talk to you. Because there are plenty of other people to talk to. There are plenty of other people you can be friends with. Like, there are billions of people in the world. There are literally billions of people in the world. So a couple losers running anonymous accounts on the internet don't want to be friends with you and are insistent on seeing you as the world's worst person. So fucking what? There are literally billions of people that you can connect with. And most of those people aren't going to give a fuck, but some of them will care. And some of them will like you. And some of them will see like right through whatever bullshit happens to come up. So focus on those people. You don't need to be best friends with everyone. You don't need everyone to love you. And I say that as someone who, like, you either love me or you hate me. There are a lot of people out there who hate me. So what? There are also people out there that love me for reasons past my own understanding. But why would I spend time worrying about the losers who hate me that I was never going to get along with anyway, when I could be spending time with people who like me and people who want to hear from me and people who want to be friends with me, you know?
Change their minds because you've argued them out of a point. I mean, it's very rare. You have to make people want to believe. You have to sell them the argument. And if the argument is that this community is good, then hey, or that I'm good, look, there are ways to do that, right? You know, you can. I'm not saying it's pointless to be a positive advocate for this community, but I want you to be just that, a positive advocate. Don't let me and this space and all the people who are a part of it be defined exclusively through raging against the constant, pointless bad faith drama. You know, don't let that be what this is. You know, to be frank, nobody's ever been sold on a YouTuber because they saw a fan of that YouTuber passionately arguing that they're not a pedophile, right? When have you, it doesn't work.
True enough.
That's all people see looking in from outside this community, you know? A lot of this is me, you know, a lot of this is my fault, but as a natural consequence of my particular kinds of brain damage, the people in this community like arguing, and it's very frustrating to a lot of the people in this community to argue a point that seems absolutely, completely, inarguably straightforward, straight line argument, no way people are going to disagree with it, you know, something about me, about the community, and then other people don't respond well to it, and it's frustrating, and it feels like you're just battling nonstop against tides of irrational hate. And to an extent, yeah, but what has arguing against it this way done? What has it gotten you or us? Not much, I'd wager. There are better ways to make these points. Talk about the good bits, you know? The funny bits, all the good arguments, the fundraising for charity, or the canvassing or positivity or life advice or whatever. There are lots of good things to talk about. You know, I remember a while ago, someone on Twitter, they got upset with me. I don't remember why. It was a trans advocacy account, and there were people in their community who were also in mine, and they got upset with me. So people following them replied, "No, don't go after Vaush. He's cool." And that trans advocacy account tweeted, "Why do you all like Vaush so much? Like, seriously, what's with all this defense? What has he done for you?" And what resulted from that was, and this has been archived. It's something that I look at. I'm man enough to admit I get a little misty eyed. Hundreds and hundreds of people talking about how me or this community has been or have been instrumental in helping them in some way with regards to their identity, their acceptance, their ability to defend themselves against bad arguments. That's good, right? I mean, that's a good sell. I don't think that I would remember this with the same fondness that I do now if the response from my community had been like, I don't know, trying to debate them on how it's illogical for you to not like Vaush. How could you not? I don't think I'd remember it if that was what people did. Of course, all the kind stories didn't actually work. They deleted the tweet asking for him and nothing changed, but it's still something we can point to. It's something I can think of. Be positive. Be the sun. I don't know if it'll really make a difference in the long run, but I know it can't help. It can't hurt to try, right? It's a better sell. It's a better argument. The odds are better. Feels better too. We're going to be positive. We're all going to be. Not just you. Me too.
All right.
We're all going to work on it. Speaking of making a difference for this community, I'd like to address the irony posters in particular. For years now,
okay, I don't care about this anymore. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. So, moral of the story is 2 hours and 15 minutes later is that Vaush is exactly and precisely who we always knew that Vaush was. I don't know why anyone was confused about this. I identified this like day one of knowing who Vaush was almost 4 fucking years ago. I don't want to watch another video, Sam. No, I'm done. I'm done. So the moral of the story is Vaush is who we've always known who Vaush was. Vaush got caught with his hand in the cookie jar because Vaush was careless and accidentally downloaded lolicon horse porn on the internet, which leads to question what other random shit does Vaush have on his computer? And then Keffals defended Vaush. And so not only did Vaush get canceled for having ill-considered and possibly illegal porn on his computer, Keffals is getting canceled for defending Vaush for having ill-considered and possibly illegal porn on his computer. And now Keffals, because Keffals is getting canceled, and all this stuff is coming up from 2 years ago that everyone already knew about anyway, Keffals is now apparently throwing Vaush under the bus. So it's basically just a leftist circular firing squad. Do I have that right? So, if you don't want to wind up in this position, guys, don't accidentally download porn onto your computer that you show on the internet. Just don't accidentally download porn. Don't download porn. It's really good advice. Don't download porn. Porn is gross. This entire fiasco would have been avoided had Vaush just not downloaded lolicon horse porn onto his computer, supposedly accidentally. All right? It's 1 a.m. I'm done. I'm going to bed. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Thank you for hanging out. Bye.